been traveling all through my country, and now I've reached the south. It is a region of great natural beauty and villages where time stands still.
You know, Northerners can feel a little daunted by the South, a bit out of place. But I'm not worried, because I'm one of them. My mother is pure Sicilian, and our family has been here for 500 years. So in a strange way, this part of my trip will be a homecoming.
I'm entering Puglia, the region we call Il Tacco d'Italia, the heel of Italy. It's an enchanted land.
That we Italians don't like paying taxes. But only this preservation resulted in a unique form of art.
This is the land of the true. Cone-shaped houses that date back hundreds of years.
The strange design of the trulli is for one reason. So they could be dismantled very easily. They were made without cement. So they could pull the top, il tappo, the plug, out of the trulli, and all would collapse.
So, when the local count heard the taxman was coming, all the tappo were pulled out. Each trulli would fall down, and he wouldn't have to pay property tax. Over the centuries, entire villages of trulli sprung up. This is Alberobello. Nowadays, you are allowed to use cement, and the trulli make popular homes.
Buongiorno.
Vive qui?
Sì,
Ah, proprio dentro il trullo?
dentro al Trullo.
E da quanto tempo vive qui?
Da 33 anni.
Possiamo vedere un attimo dentro?
Perché no? Prego. Prego.
Sono bellissimi. Ma com'è vivere in un trullo?
Si sta bene comunque.
Sì.
L'estate è fresco, freschissimo, però l'inverno è freddo perché è umido. Bisogna ristrutturarlo, bisogna...
E questa è la vostra sala da pranzo?
Qui si fa la sala da pranzo e lì la camera da letto.
Che bellino. E di qua si possono vedere?
Prego, qui è la camera da letto.
Ma c'è anche il bagno?
Sì, qui sulla destra, il bagno piccolo.
Oh, che carino. Sembra tutto in miniatura, la casa dei nani, proprio.
Tutto ignomi.
È bellissimo.
La casa degli elfi.
Below the town of Ostuni sit luscious and ancient olive groves. But I'm not alone. Here lurks a terrifying creature. Well, perhaps not this terrifying, but a tarantula spider, nevertheless, that has inspired a local tradition.
I have come to Ostuni to see a dance so powerful that it is said to cure the bite of the tarantula spider.
This is the tarantella. At first glance, it looks not unlike your Morris dancing, but this is about to get very wild. The tarantella has been danced since the 1300s, when a plague of spiders hit the town of Ostuni. For centuries, it was believed the dance was the only way to cure the effects of the spider's poison. Now, it's just an excuse for a good party. In the past, dances like this used to go on for days. Even now, when people hear the music, they feel compelled to join in. I'm on the road to Matera, in Italy's poorest region. Built into the side of a gorge, it is a town of cave dwellings, known as Sassi. In a region of constant war and plunder, the Sassi were easy to defend. This was a town with one purpose: survival. Well into the 20th century, Matera's poverty was shocking. The reports of visitors describe starving and diseased children begging not for money, but medicine.
Peasants and farmers lived here with their families, with their animals. The only source of ventilation and light was the entrance door. No running water. It must have been really grim. By the 1950s, the squalors of the Sassi was so staggering that it became known as la vergogna d'Italia, the shame of Italy.
Back then, many Sassi were abandoned. But 50 years on, Sassi are being cleaned up and lived in again. Today, even tourists are finding their way to Matera to see a forgotten treasure.
This rock church was created in the Middle Ages.
It was carved out of the solid rock of the cliff face in the 8th century. Frescoes, painted sometime around 1100, decorate the triple-aisled church. This is the Madonna del Latte, the Virgin Mary breastfeeding the infant Jesus.
Bronzatissima sotto I raggi del sole.
Grazie.
Com'è bello sognare abbracciato con te.
After my travels through the Italian mainland, now I'm going home, to the land of my mother. I've spent so much of my life here.
What has made Sicily so desirable is its strategic position in the middle of the Mediterranean and its fertility. The Romans call it the nurse at whose breast the Roman people are fed. This was a prize worth winning.
To travel through Sicily is to travel back in time. It was the ancient Greeks who first colonized Sicily in the 8th century BC. They transformed the east coast of the island into a center of trade and artistic excellence that would rival Athens itself.
It's often forgotten that the great minds of ancient Greece found their homes here. Plato, the philosopher, Archimedes, the mathematician, Aeschylus, the playwright.
This is the Greek theater of Taormina, just one of Sicily's great ruins from the classical age. Its state provides a stunning frame for the volcano of Mount Etna. From the dawn of time, it has dominated the island and the lives of its people. The name Etna comes from the ancient Greek to burn. It takes an hour to reach the base camp of the volcano by car. And then it's a tough 4-hour climb through snow to the rim of the crater.
Ciao!
Francesco.
Allora, come va Giuseppe? Tutto a posto?
Vado bene così?
Assolutamente
Sta freddo
no.
su.
Sì, c'è molto freddo. Considera è l'unica montagna che sale intorno ai 3300 ed è sempre spazzata dal vento. E ho portato un po' di roba per te, ho gli scarponi e una giacca a vento, che ora ti darò.
Fantastico.
Etna is the largest volcano in Europe and one of the most active in the world. 9 climbers were killed in a recent eruption.
Ma è sicuro che non esplode?
Ma potrebbe anche succedere, è un vulcano attivo, quindi è fisiologico nella sua natura che ci siano delle attività esplosive. La cosa importante è non lasciarsi prendere dal panico, stare fermi e guardare la direzione delle bombe vulcaniche. Se si ha lo zaino si mette sulla testa e ovviamente poi si fa il segno della croce e si prega. Quindi,
Il segnale.
certo.
C'ho più fiato.
Dai, dai, appena arriviamo su te la do una sigaretta. Francesco, guarda qua. Hai visto? Qui il suolo è tutto in continuo movimento. Se metti anche una mano dentro, sentirai il calore.
Pericolosissimo.
Guarda, tocca.
Ui!
Hai visto? Eh?
È bello caldo.
Qua ci troviamo sul bordo del cratere. Considera che questa situazione di visibilità è molto aleatoria perché il vento lo può trasportare in un minuto, si può ricoprire tutto. Ora noi ci avvicineremo al bordo, stando molto attenti, perché ci sono delle fratture e tutto può frenare. Guarda, vedi?
Ammazza. Ok, ti seguo.
Ok. Vuoi tornare a casa?
No, c'è. Sì, ma sicuro quello. Mazza, oh. Wow.
Allora, vieni sin
Qui
qui.
è il niente, il niente.
Guardati intorno.
fantastico. È una cosa che ho sognato fin da quando piccolo. Sono senza parole.
È stato fatto un recente sondaggio qui a Radio Manus. Pensate che il 50% degli italiani è infedele. Quindi, se non sei tu, deve essere per forza tua moglie.
Fatti mandare dalla mamma a prendere latte. Devo dirti qualche cosa che riguarda noi due. Tu digli a quel cor che sono geloso. Se lo rivedo e gli spaccherò il muso.
After the Roman Empire collapsed, Normans and Arabs fought for control of the island. For centuries, Sicily was a dangerous place. So people built their homes on mountain tops. Now they look picturesque, but these were villages built for defense.
You know, one of the things I love about Sicily is the little villages. They feel so secluded, timeless. When you come here, it's important to make time to stop and just walk around.
There are certain things you will always see.
Any self-respecting Sicilian village will have lots of stray cats and dogs.
There are children playing football on the street.
The teenagers all dress up with nowhere to go.
Old women making lace, while their husbands play cards in the bar.
Cattivella questa.
I'm heading towards the south coast of Sicily on a personal pilgrimage.
I'm an architect, and every architect has a dream. That one day he might be able to build a town entirely from scratch.
And that's just what happened in 1693, when the city of Noto was destroyed by an earthquake. The reconstruction was given to the Duke of Camastra, a powerful Sicilian aristocrat.
The Duke's vision was to build Noto bigger and better than before. It would be marveled for its beauty and brilliance, and his name would be remembered forevermore.
The Duke enlisted the greatest Sicilian architects of the day. They created a Baroque masterpiece. This city is a stage set. Every facade is designed to impress with fine decoration and sculpture.
You know, Noto has many beautiful buildings, but what I like best are the little details. This style of balconies, supported by strange creatures and cherubs, is unique to Sicily. I love them.
But while being very beautiful, Noto was doomed from the start.
The problem is that it was all made from this, the local limestone. It's soft and good for delicate carving, but it has a bad side. It's very fragile, and within 200 years, Noto was falling apart.
The city of beautiful facades and promenades has become one of not so beautiful scaffolding. This is the Duomo. It is in so much trouble, it has scaffolding on the outside and on the inside too. It breaks my heart to see it. Like Venice, a tragic uncertainty hangs over the city.
Carissimi ascoltatori di Radio Manu, è il momento delle vostre richieste. Quindi prendete il telefono e chiamateci immediatamente. Dunque, vediamo un po' chi sarà il primo fortunato a prendere la linea. Pronto, chi parla?
Ciao, sono Francesco di Venezia.
E là, ciao.
E senti, sto attraversando tutta l'Italia
Sì.
e ascolto sempre il tuo programma.
Grazie mille.
Non è che prima della fine del viaggio mi metti la mia canzone preferita?
Ma certo. Francesco, questo è per te. Buon viaggio.
Caramelle, non ne voglio più.
Certe volte non ti capisco.
Le rose e i violini,
Questa sera tu portale un'altra.
violini e rose li posso sentire quando è il momento e dopo si vedrà.
Una parola ancora.
Parole, parole, parole.
Ascoltami.
Parole, parole, parole.
Ti prego.
Parole, parole, parole.
Io ti giuro.
Parole, 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 parole.
Parole, soltanto parole, parole tra noi.
In the 18th century, Sicily was controlled by a handful of aristocratic families. It was an age of extravagance. In the town of Bagheria, they competed to build the most brilliant and impressive country houses. This is the Villa Palagonia, built in 1715. The garden is full of grotesque statues. They were made by a prince of Palagonia as caricatures of his wife's lovers. Like most feudal lords, the Sicilian aristocracy were rich, but did no work themselves. Their lives were dedicated to pleasure, and no palace was complete without a ballroom.
Imagine this place, lit by 1,000 candles. Dark, handsome princes wheeling their elegant, dazzling women in a waltz around this room. And the mirrors on the ceiling repeating to infinity the image of the dancers beneath. And everyone dizzy and spinning with champagne. They must have thought the dance would go on forever.
But the aristocracy spent beyond their means. In the late 19th century, the princes of Pelagonia, like many Sicilian nobles, had to sell up. It was the end of an era. Palermo is the capital city of Sicily. Its elegant streets are lined with magnificent buildings and statues, amongst the finest in Italy. But step off the main streets, and it's a different story. The city was badly in the Second World War, and it has never recovered.
I'm in the center of Palermo. It's incredible that after all these years, these buildings have been left like this. Why? There is a word that might explain it.
After the war, money was siphoned into mafia-controlled building projects on the edge of town, and the center left to rot. For several decades, Palermo was a difficult place to live. And as late as the 1980s and 90s, violent death common on the streets of the city.
Sicilians see death kind of like un parente noioso, a boring relative. Not too much fun to be with. But since a visit is inevitable, one might as well make the best of it.
Until a decade ago, when it was outlawed, it was common for people to have picnics on their family tombs. Flowers and picnics is one way of dealing with death, but under the ground here is another.
Faccia bene, sono Fra Donatello.
Francesco,
Benvenuti. Cosa avete bisogno?
volevo chiedere, per visitare le catacombe è
Sì, è possibile, con piacere. Questo è l'ingresso, vi potete accomodare, va bene?
Di qua?
Sì, di qua, ecco. Accomodatevi, accompagno per
Grazie.
faccio il corridoio. Accomodati, va bene? Andate sempre avanti, levate giù e poi ci sono 6 corridoi, va bene?
Grazie.
Buona visita.
I've been here only once before, as a boy, and I was fascinated by it. But I know you British have a problem with death. So those of you who are a little sensitivo may want to cover your eyes.
For the past 500 years, this has been the resting place of the Capuchin monks. They didn't like to bury their dead, but embalm them. At first, only monks were interred here. But then, anybody who could afford it could find a home here too. There are special sections for men, women, lawyers, doctors, and priests. There are about 8,000 bodies here.
Once you get over the shock of this cemetery, it is empowering. We spend so much of life worrying about death visiting us, so it's nice to go visit death. And when I'm bored of her company, I can leave. Ciao.
I'm heading for the airport to pick up someone very special. She's coming in on the flight from Venice.
In my tour through Italy, I've tried to show you the things that make us unique. But I still have to show the most valuable thing. For us Italians, is more important than religion, art, or politics. Mamma.
The relationship between the Italian male and his mother is sacred.
E I capelli?
Come sempre.
He never grows out of her control.
Aspetta che ti apro io.
Grazie.
Viva la mamma, affezionata a quella gonna un po' lunga, così elegantemente anni 50, pettinata come lei.
Mother's family have been in Palermo for 500 years.
E questo è un alloro?
No, è un ficus di rosa.
Her family, the Dukes of Archirafi, once owned the land in the center of town, which is now the Botanical Garden.
Che mi hai portato qua?
Perché volevo farti vedere un posto dove sono stata da bambina.
E ci venivi spesso da quando eri piccolina?
Abbastanza. Venivo col nonno. Vedevo le serre. Mi insegnavano i nomi degli alberi.
Ti ricordi?
Adesso non più, ma prima sì.
My mother is going to take me to the old family home where she was born and where my cousins still live.
E siamo arrivati.
E qui ci sono i tuoi ricordi?
Sì, che adesso passo a te e tu ai tuoi figli.
Un passaggio generazionale?
Giusto?
Come un testimone?
Sì, è la vita.
È la vita che continua.
Anzi, direi l'immortalità.
E quindi posso curiosare nella tua vita passata?
Così curioso anch'io.
Perché per me è un buco nero.
Vedi
Erika
come ero
dice-
aggraziata anche loro.
Erika,
Qua prima.
Erika, piccolina, carina. Cicciunino. Questo è il...
Questa è la foto del mio matrimonio.
non eri da buttare via.
Ma, insomma,
Eri giovane, quanti?
22.
22 anni. Com'è stato il matrimonio?
Bello. Piangevo sempre. No, sono arrivata ridendo e sono uscita piangendo. Emozione.
Sembrano proprio altri tempi.
E sono altri tempi. Infatti dico sempre che sono del secolo scorso io. Questo è il piccolo.
Il piccolo
Marca-
sarei io?
Sì.
Ah, lo chiami il piccolo?
Ma sei ancora il mio piccolo.
Guarda qua.
Seeing these photos, it makes me think about my own children. It seems so long ago I left them behind in Venice.
Adesso ti faccio vedere qualche altra cosa.
Ti seguo.
Andiamo. Vieni.
Ti seguo?
Sì, ti faccio vedere prima le cose in giardino.
Ah, ok. Che ne so?
Non conosci il giardino?
Sì.
Apriamo di qua.
Presa? Devo ancora riprendermi.
Cincina, papà.
Vediamo! Che grande che sei diventato! My journey has come to an end, to say. It is difficult for me to come to a conclusion about my trip. We Italians say our country is un bel casino, a beautiful confusion, not to be explained, but experienced. But what a journey. It was great fun, no?
Papà, arriva il caffè, dai, che sennò si raffredda.